All desire me, yet I choose you, human. The alien girl made her pick. Evan's fingers stabbed the override key. Alarms wailed as the alien shuttle's docking seal ruptured. Atmosphere hissed into vacuum. The Envoy's craft bucked against the clamps, 30 seconds from total vent. Station control, this is Rook and Bay 3. Manual cycle now. He yanked the emergency lever. Airlock protocols locked him out. Standard for first contact docking. Evan bypassed them with a jury-rigged shunt from his tool belt. The outer door slammed shut. Inner seals pressurized. The shuttle stabilized with a groan of stressed metal. Evan sprinted down the gantry, mag boots thudding. Hollow displays flickered red, hull breach contained, but the Envoy's vitals flatlined on auxiliary scan. Her shuttle's air was gone. The ramp hissed open. Saïla staggered out, her iridescent skin paling to ash gray. Four-lobed eyes widened at him. Her breathing collar, a fragile neck ring pumping her species ammonia mix, crackled with a hairline fracture. Gas vented in thin wisps. She clutched her throat. Guards in ornate exosuits barked from the ramp and clipped alien syllables. Evan dropped to one knee. Hold still. He slapped a field patch over the crack. The nanogel spread, but pressure buckled it. He cinched a cable tie from his belt around the seam. Tight, it held. Saïla gasped. Sweet ammonia scent filled his helmet filter. Her four-fingered hand gripped his forearm. Cold, steady. You intervene without clearance. Clearance kills. Evan stood, scanning her collar's readouts on his wristpad. Stable. Can you walk? Her guard surged forward. Envoy Vey. Extraction protocol. Back to shuttle. Saïla waved them off. Her voice modulated through a translator bead. Sharp. Aristocratic. No. The dock destabilizes. I assist. Evan blinked. Noble-blooded envoy. Her briefings. Her species. The Veyari. Prized protocol above breath. Yet here she stood, defying her own. He led her into the maintenance tube. Suit integrity nominal. Follow close. Crawl space lights buzzed overhead. Pipes thrummed with recycled air. She matched his pace. Exosuit joints whirring softly. Your patch. Improvised. Effective. Field Techa 101. Evan pried a panel. Exposed conduits sparked. Feedback from the bad seal. He yanked a fused relay. Humans improvise. You, Veyari, anticipate. Saïla pointed a sensor limb at the wiring. There. Harmonic surge. Divert to auxiliary. He nodded. Routed power per her specs. Sparks died. Dock clamps realigned with a solid thunk. Silence fell, broken only by their breaths. Evan sealed the panel. Her proximity registered. Taller than him, lithe. Scales shimmering violet under tube glow. No fear scent. Trust, maybe. Why override? She asked. Risk to self. To treaty. Evan wiped sweat from his brow. Bad seal doesn't care about treaties. You were venting. Her lobes pulsed. Amusement, humans act first. Veyari declare intent first. A klaxon blared. Station-wide. Bay 3, stand down. Commander Imani Shah's voice crackled over comms. Rook, they, quarantine lockdown. No exits. No contacts. Evan tapped his helmet. Commander, docks stable. Envoys secure. Acknowledged. But scans show breach exposure. Both of you sit tight. Medical drone inbound. The tube hatch sealed with a hydraulic hiss. Red quarantine lights pulsed. Saïla tilted her head. Isolation. Standard? For hull breaches, yeah. Evan leaned against the bulkhead. But full denial? Shaw's playing hard. Her guards' voices echoed faintly from the bay. Protests cut off by closing doors. Saïla removed her helmet. Ammonia-tinged air cycled through vents. Safe now. Shaw protects station. I protect Accord. You protect life. Evan unsealed his own. Station air felt crisp after her scent. Part of the job. She stepped closer. Her hand brushed his patch job. Gentle pressure. Not protocol. Choice. Heat crept up his neck. Veyari envoys didn't touch casually. Briefings warned. Bonding public. Arranged. Intimate acts. Diplomatic incidents. Choice keeps people breathing. He met her gaze. Four lobes tracked him, unblinking. Calm crackled again. Shaw. Rook, status. Nominal. Commander. Relay fixed. Envoy assisting. Pause. Assisting? Stand by. Footsteps echoed outside. Not drone. Boots. The hatch cycled. Commander Shaw strode in, sidearm holstered, face a mask of steel, African features sharp, under-cropped hair, tech rook. Envoy Vey. Explain the override. Evan straightened. Seal failed mid-dock, venting imminent. Protocol would have waited for auth. 30 seconds too long. Shaw's eyes flicked to Sayla's collar, and that. Cracked on exit, patched it. Sayla spoke. He saved my shuttle, my breath. I followed to repair. Shaw crossed her arms. Veyari protocol demands extraction. You ignored it. For the dock. Sayla's tone cooled. Treaty requires stability. Shaw eyed Evan. Rook your station grease. Not heroics. This stinks of breach. No stink, just fix. Evan kept voice level. Shaw tolerated zero chaos. Her comm buzzed. Incoming tight beam. Console rise Mar. Shaw glanced, scowled. Quarantine holds, Shaw said. Both of you. Med Bay sublevel. Oh, Vul Decon. No outs until clear. But guards, Sayla started. Denied. Politicals inbound. Your attaché Tar-Kel is rerouted, hatch resealed. Shaw marched them down corridor to decon chamber. Sterile white, double-locked. Inside they stripped protocols, suits off, scans humming. Evan kept eyes forward. Sayla's form, elongated limbs, scale patterns swirling like nebulae, demanded focus. Med drone word in. Probed her collar. Seal integrity, 98%. Human improvisation exceeds Veyari standard. Shaw's voice over intercom. Decon cycle. 2 hours, no comms. Orders. Lights dimmed to blue. Sayla sat on the bench. Shaw and forces, like my guards. Evan nodded, arms folded. Rules keep the station spinning. But rules bend. You bent them. She leaned in, warmth radiated, her core temp higher. Veyari bonds declare publicly. Yours, human thing? Private? He shrugged. Earned. Her lobes flared pink. Earned how? Actions, not words. Silence, stretched, decon mist hissed. Outside, muffled voices. Tar-Kel arguing. Envoy compromised. Consul demands extraction. Shaw. Negative. Quarantine. Sayla's hand found Evan's knee. Light. Testing. You choose me safe. I choose you here. Pulse quickened. Forbidden. Station chatter already buzzed cross-species taboos. Treaty fragile. Evan covered her hand. Cool scales against skin. Deal. Alarm spiked anew. Distant. Shaw's voice barked. All hands, incoming protest shuttle. Consul Mars flagged at hostile. Sayla tensed. Rise. He weaponizes this. Evan stood. Decon panel. I can shunt us to Ox vents. Her eyes locked. Together? The chamber shuddered. Protest shuttle docking. Uninvited. Evan pried the panel. Wires gleamed. Your call. Sayla gripped his hand. Pulled him in. My choice. Evan crawled through the Ox vent. Shoulders scraping rusted grating. Sayla followed close, her scales whispering against metal. Heat from her body chased the chill off his skin. Distant thuds echoed, docking clamps seizing the protest shuttle. Left junction, he whispered, bypasses decon, straight to engineering bay. Her hand gripped his ankle, firm. Evan. My claim. He paused, flashlight beam slicing steam.
Claim what?
Veyari bonding. Invoke now. Medical necessity. Her voice hummed low, lobes pulsing violet. Quarantine limits breached. My physiology demands proximity. To you. Evan twisted, met her gaze. Golden eyes locked. Serious, no bluff. Vent air thickened with her scent. Ozone and spice. Medical, that's your play? Station protocols yield to envoy health. She pressed closer. Keeps us together. Legally. He shook his head. Vent rattled under them. Shouts filtered from main deck. Consul Mars' voice barking orders. No, not like that. Sayla's tail flicked. Why reject? Plain words, Sayla. Bonding's huge. You say necessity. I hear trap. Explain your custom. Direct. No diplomat dodge. She inhaled sharp. Scales rippled. Vayari declare publicly. Bond lock status. Family, clan, approve or sever. Mine, noble blood. Expected match elevates treaty. Her fingers tightened. But I choose. You saved me. Bent rules, earned. Evan processed, public property. His world, private vow. Still no, consent first. Mutual, written. Alarms blared closer. Boots stomped deck plates below. Tarkel's growl pierced vents. Envoy, extract, now. Sayla tensed. Tahar Kel senses. Evan killed the light. Quiet, move. They slithered forward. Vent spat them into engineering bay shadows. Consoles hummed blue. Evan sealed the grate. Sayla straightened. Robes, disheveled. She tapped her collar calm. Tar Kel. Status. Envoy compromised. Attache's voice crackled. Human interference. I challenge his refusal. Insult to Vayari honor. Formal censure, now. Evan stepped forward, mic'd his wrist unit. This is Rook, systems tech. Back off. No censure. Tarkel snarled over open channel. Station-wide ping. Human presumes. Bonding rejection shames Sayla. Protocol demands review. Security. Detain. Shaw's voice cut in, hard. Bay doors locked.
Stand down, Tarkel. Explain, Rook.
Evan glanced at Sayla. She nodded once. Trust. He patched through. Shaw, Sayla invoked bonding claim. Medical bypass for quarantine. I rejected. Cultural mismatch. Vayari public declare humans consent private. Pause. Footfalls neared bay hatch. Bonding? Cross species? Shaw's tone iced. Treaty violation. Mars shuttle logs at hostile. Armed. Sayla leaned to Evan's mic. Commander. My choice. Physiology links post-exposure. Separation risks cascade failure. Evan raised brow. Truth or tactic? Her hand brushed his. Steady, Shaw grunted. Data. Collar logs, Sayla said. Transmit. Ping. Consoles lit. Graph spiked. Her vitals sinking to his proximity. Evan's turn. Shaw. I draft consent contract. Temporary. Covers us till clear. Send it. He pulled holoslate. Fingers flew. Evan Rook and Sayla. Mutual agreement. Proximity authorized. No binding till full disclosure and affirm. Breach voids. Station witness. You. Sayla read over shoulder. Lobes flared rose. Humans contract fate? Consent, he said. Tool, like wrench. She signed. Digital seal glowed. Evan forwarded. Your call, Chief. Hatch hissed. Shaw strode in, sidearm holstered. Tarkel flanked her, mandibles clicking fury. Beyond, Mars shuttle loomed on monitors, protesters massing airlock. Shaw scanned contract, nodded. Station law, I sign. Stylus tapped, effective. But Mars filing injunction. Your bond triggers backlash. Tarkel lunged verbal. Insult remains. Human dictates Vayari right. Evan met his glare, calm. Insult? I fixed your envoy's seal. Saved her in breach. You want protocol? Here's mine. Attaché recoiled. Eyes widened. You improvised life support? Standard fix. Evan shrugged. Keeps air in lungs. Sayla stepped between. Tahar Kel, stand. Human way extraordinary. Consent honors me more than fate. Attaché bowed stiff. Envoy, as you command. Shaw eyed Evan. Smart, but riots brewing. Mar claims your contraband, proves loyalty, or we isolate. Evan nodded to Sayla, together. She gripped his hand, scales warm. My choice? Monitors flared, airlock breach alert. Mars protesters forced clamps. Chance, purity, no hybrids. Shaw drew sidearm. Bay secure, Rook, vents to core. Sayla, your biometrics, root power surge to locks. Evan, pride panel, on it. Sayla synced collar to console. Vitals fed grid. Power routed, locks hold 30 micros. They dove vents again. Tarkel covered rear. Shouts swelled. Metal groaned. Evan rerouted flows. Sparks flew. Surge live. Locks reinforced. Bay shuddered. Protesters hammered. Mars' voice boomed. Release Vey! Human taint ends treaty. Sayla's hand found Evans in dark. They fear our choice. Prove it wrong. He sealed final relay. Surge hummed. Locks bolted triple. Back in Bay. Shaw faced hatch. Clear, but Mar escalates. Diplomatic channels light up. Your contract viral. Evan wiped sweat. Sayla leaned into him. Public now. Eyes on them. Tarkel watched. Silent. Respect dawning. Shaw holstered. Rook. You bend rules without breaking. Noted. Alarms shifted. Incoming hail. Mars face-filled scream. Smug. Commander Shaw. Invoke Treaty Clause 7. Envoy isolation. Bonding null. Or war. Sayla straightened. Consul. Debate me. Evan tensed. Her fight now. But his hand stayed in hers. Mars sneered. Noble blood diluted? Prove loyalty. Sever. Her lobes burned crimson. Never. Screen flickered. New ping station council feed. Votes tallying. Contract under fire. Evan whispered. Your move. Sayla smiled. Fangs glinted. Ours. Protesters roared. Hatch buckled once. Held. Shaw turned. Council in 5. Gear up. This consent just started a riot. Evan yanked the emergency kit from the bulkhead. Straps snapped tight around his chest. Sayla mirrored him, her four-fingered hands fumbling the clasps. Protesters' roars vibrated the hatch. Drill now, Evan said. Council's virtual, but Bay's link physical. Breach hits. You move blind. Sayla's violet eyes narrowed. Lobes flickered yellow. Curiosity. Protocol demands debate, not move. He killed the lights. Bay plunged dark. Only console glow-lit vents. Find the secondary hatch. 10 seconds. She crouched, nostrils flaring, padded forward on digitigrade legs. Bumped a crate. Cursed in her tongue. Clicks and hisses. Clocks reel. Evan counted aloud. 8. Feel the deck seams. Left curve leads safe. Her hand grazed his boot. She pivoted. Fingers traced wall. Hatch panel clicked open under her palm. Lights snapped back. Again, blindfold. He tossed her a hood from the kit. Tarkel shifted, frills stiffening. Guards murmured. Sayla tied it on. Humans drill fate from flesh. Drill saves it. Darkness fell twice more. She nailed it third try. 4 seconds flat. Hood off. She bared fangs. Adequate? Blind competent. Evan nodded. Shaw watched from the hatch, arms crossed. No comment. Tarkel's frills eased a notch. Alarms pinged. Council feed primed. Sayla leaned close. Scent sharp. Ozone and spice. Evan's sleeve brushed her collar. She stiffened. Grabbed his wrist. Stop. Her voice dropped. Scent mark taboo. Your oil's on fabric. Public claim. My kin read it as ownership. Evan froze. His arm hung mid-air. Just steadying you. Intent reads same. She guided his hand away, demonstrated. Light press at collar edge, then release, no linger. Etiquette acknowledge, never anoint. Triggers bond alert to all nobles. Tarkel nodded sharp. Consul Mar hunts that signal. Evan tested it, pressed once. Released. Sayla's lobes flushed teal. Approval. Controlled. Like your drills. Reciprocal. He grinned faint. Gear synced. Shaw cleared throat. Feed live. Move. They piled into the corridor. Station thrummed. Boots echoed. Vents hissed. Sayla's translator crackled mid-stride. Garbled static warped her words. Guards halted, hands to weapons. Evan dropped to knee. Logs jammed, output frozen. Hides your real-time intent. He cracked the collar unit open. Sparks danced. Guards loomed. Tarkel closest. Human tampering, one growled. Envoy compromised. Watch. Evan jacked his multi-tool. Screen lit. Full log dump. Every word, every translation glitch beamed public. Transparency clause. Treaty mandates it. See? No edits. Her never sever from Mar? Crystal. Sayla stood statue still. Lobes crimson now. Vulnerable hue. Log scrolled. her private queries on human contracts, his repair logs syncing her vitals to his. Intimate data, raw. Tarkel scanned. Frills relaxed fully, purity verified. Human, thorough. Guard stepped back. Shaw grunted, Rook style. Evan resealed the unit, translator purred smooth. Calibrated, say it true now. Syla touched his shoulder. Proper etiquette, truth holds. Council chamber loomed, hollow screens ringed the deck. Mars' face dominated center, smug scales gleaming, votes flickered red. 62% for isolation. Envoy Vey, Mar boomed, bonding voids noble line. Sever or forfeit treaty. Sayla stepped forward. Hand slipped from Evans. Deliberate, but her scent lingered, controlled mark. Debate terms, contract 14B, personal choice supersedes. Evans stayed flank. Toolkit ready, protesters' chants leaked through bulkheads. Mar laughed. Choice? Human grease taints blood, prove loyalty. Discard him. Council murmurs swelled. Shaw tensed beside Evan. Tarkel flanked Sayla. Evan's calm buzzed private. Sayla's channel. Token ping. Small hollow vial icon. Vow offer. Her species bind. Irrevocable once accepted. He glanced. She met his eyes. No plea, just fact. Risk blazed. Public feed caught it. Gasps rippled. Mars' scales paled. Evan pulled his pad. Typed, contract terms? Her reply instant. Written, mutual. No ownership, equals. He scanned annex. Treaty subclause. Vow token valid under human witness, alien registry. No dilution. Pure consent. Accepted. He pinged back. Token fused digital. Gold thread linked their IDs. Station-wide ping. Bond ratified. Sayla's lobes blazed gold. Joy unbound. She straightened. Consul, vow witnessed. Loyalty proven. Debate ends. Mar recoiled. Impossible. Noble code. Adapted. Tarkel cut in. First defiance. Human terms integrate. Log transparent. Votes flipped. Green surged. 71%. Protesters outside faltered. Chants fractured. Shaw holstered sidearm fully. Clear, but Mar's eyes narrowed. Private channel spiked off record. Evan caught the tail. Isolate anyway. Force extraction. Council adjourned. Cheers mixed boos. Sayla turned to Evan. Fangs gleamed. Troubleshoot complete. He shouldered kit. Reroute incoming. Corridor cleared fast. Guards peeled off. Respect in their nods. Tarkel lingered. Human promises. Tool sharp. My lady chooses well. Evan nodded. Sayla's hand found his again. Proper now. Public. Shaw fell in step. Rook. That token bends every rule. Mars not done. Deck shook. New alarms wailed. Not protesters. Hull breach vector. Mars faction ships inbound. Treaty be damned. Evan checked scans. Armory. Gear full. Sayla gripped tighter. Ours. They ran. Trust sealed. Station fracturing. Mars' voice hacked main. Claim the tainted plate. War claims the rest. Evan sprinted down the corridor, toolkit banging against his thigh. Sayla matched his stride. Her clawed hand locked in his. Shaw led, pistol drawn. Alarms screamed overhead. Hull breach, inbound vectors read on Evan's wrist scan. Armory. Deck 7, Shaw barked. Rook, you rigged those bulkheads? Reinforced last shift. Evan tapped his comm. Tarkel. Seal envoy quarters. Reroute power to shields. Affirm. The attaché's voice crackled. The static swallowed the rest. Mars hacked broadcast looped. Claim the tainted. War claims the rest. Evan glanced at Sayla. Her golden lobes pulsed. Fear masked by fangs bared in resolve. She squeezed his hand. No words. Trust and grip. Bulkhead ahead, irised shut. Shaw punched override. Sparks flew. They piled through. Armory doors hissed open. Racks gleamed. Human pulse rifles. Alien plasma lances. Evan grabbed his custom rig, modded for 0G breaches. Shaw tossed vests. Strap fast, Shaw eyed Sayla. You fight? Diplomats endure. Sayla snatched a lance, scales rippling as she synced it to her grip. Humans innovate. We adapt. Deck shuddered. Scans pinged. 3 corvettes, Mars faction colors, docking clamps firing. Evan slotted power cells. They're boarding mid-station. Civilian decks exposed. Shaw nodded. We hold the choke. Tarkel? Quarters sealed. Protesters routed. Pause. Console Mars shuttle undocked. He's on the lead corvette. Evan's jaw tightened. Mar weaponized the bond. Now war. Sayla leaned close, breath warm on his neck. You vowed, I claim. He met her eyes. Violet slits fierce. Equals. Explosions rocked the frame. Red lights strobed. Shaw shouldered her rifle. Move. Breach at Junction 9. They charged out. Smoke curled from vents. Evan patched his scan to station net. Hacks everywhere. Mars code slithered through firewalls. Countering. Fingers flew on wrist pad. Human brute force algos slammed doors shut on borders. Aliens gawked from side passages.
Human tech! Shields hold!
Sayla fired first. A plasma bolt vaporized a drone scout. They come for me. Not alone. Evan covered her flank. Pulse bursts chewing armor off the next wave. Shaw dropped 2 borders clean. Rook's mods saved the core. Good call. Tarkel burst from a side hatch. Lance humming. My lady secured. But Mar demands extraction. Legal override pinged. Evan snorted. Over my rig. Borders poured in. Armored Valerie. Rises loyalists. Claws extended. Eyes locked on Sayla. Traitor noble, one roared in trade tongue. Bond taints the line. Sayla stepped forward, lance level. Choice taints nothing.
Prove yours. Evan flanked her.
His shots pinned the leader. Sayla's plasma finished it. Shaw sealed the junction. Hull patched. Corvettes retreating. Your hack, Rook? Station AI loves human overrides. Evan wiped sweat. Scans cleared. Sayla turned. Lobes gold again. She traced his jaw with a claw. Gentle. Intimate. You fight as vowed. Tarkel bowed low. Human promises unbreakable. Protocol yields. Shaw holstered. Mar jumped to hyperspace. Treaty holds. For now. But he's rallying council off station. Evan pulled Sayla close. Public. Defiant. Her scales warmed against him, alarms silenced. Cheers echoed from vents, stationers alive because of them. But Evan's scan caught a ghost signal. Mars private channel. Right undone. Recall the verifier. Sayla stiffened. The challenge returns. Evan gripped her hand. We face it. Together. Deck lights steadied. Trust forged in fire. Flashback clawed back as they regrouped in the envoy wing. Evan remembered the room where it started. The diplomatic hall. Crystal walls tuned to Valari harmonics. Built to amplify noble decrees. He stood in the tech alcove then. Calibrating holo projectors. Invisible to the elite. Consul Rizmar swept in. Robes swirling. Welcome, envoy Sayelave. Noble blood demands noble union. 3 males flanked him. Prime Valari. Warriors. Scholars. Heirs. Scales polished. Lobes tuned gold in anticipation. Crowd murmured approval. Politicians, aides, station brass, including Shaw. Sayela sat central, controlled grace. Evan caught her glance. Quick, Violet flicked to his corner. Mar gestured grandly. First Lord Kaeldor, fleet commander, secures borders. Kaeldor bowed, fangs gleaming. Second, Scholar Vexleer, archive master, preserves lineage. Vexleer intoned lineage chants. Third, Thal Rhine, trade lord, binds alliances. Bulrin offered a vow crystal. Sayla rose. Silence crashed. She crossed the hall. Straight to Evan, skirts whispering over crystal floor, hand extended. Gasps rippled. Chosen, she declared in crisp trade language, pointed at him. Evan Rook, partner. Evan froze, toolkit humming in grip. All eyes burned. Mars' scales paled. Envoy, ceremony binds politics, choice binds me. Sayla's hand met Evan's. Warm, firm, Shaw, shifted nearby, hand near holster. Rook. Evan stood taller, calm competence kicked in, accepted. Crowd erupted. Boos from Valerie purists, cheers from humans. Mar slammed his staff. Legal challenge, bonding verification right invoked. Noble code, demands purity test. Tar-Kel stiffened beside Sayla. Consul, submit envoy. Or forfeit status. Silea's lobes flickered blue. Doubt? No. Resolve harden them gold. Evan stepped forward. I'll verify. Murmurs peaked. Humans don't enter Velari rights. No council. No escape. You? Mar sneered. Terran tech? Unblooded? Evan met his gaze. Equals prove it. Shaw gripped his arm. Rook, that's alien law. Mind probe. Pain. Sayla squeezed his hand. No force. Consent. Evan nodded. Volunteering. Court summoned instant adjacent chamber. Neural web glowing. Velari verifiers waited. Tendrils humming. Evan walked in alone. No lawyer. Door sealed. Web descended. Probes kissed his temples. Cold fire raced nerves. Visions flooded. Sayla's choice. Mutual vow. No coercion. Pain spiked. He gritted teeth. Held steady. Human stubbornness. Quiet strength. Verifiers recoiled. Pure. Consent absolute. Evan emerged. Sweat slick. Sayla waited outside. Tar-Kel guarding. Verified. He grinned faint. Your turn? She laughed. Rare fangs full. Pulled him close. Intimate press. Scales to skin. Mar stormed out. Impossible. Adapted. Sayla's voice carried. Human terms integrate. That led to council. Token fused. Ratification. Now, post-attack. Evan shook off memory. Sayla's hand still in his. Mar flees, but right echoes. Tar-Kel scanned logs. He's petitioning High Council. Tainted bond claim. Shaw crossed arms. Station's hours. Treaty pulls at 71%. Protesters gone. Evan checked armory feeds. Clear. Gear up anyway. Next breach could be legal. Sayla traced his vow token, gold thread on her lobe matching his wristband. You walked the web. Defied fear. You defied culture. He kissed her knuckles, claws retracted. Trust. Tar-Kel nodded respect. Humans treat loyalty as tool. Sharp. Effective. Shaw smirked. Rook's always the safest fix. Even for this. Console beeped. Incoming hail. From High Council. Mar's face filled screen. Envoy Vey. Bond contested. High Right demands both. Arrive Zarath Prime. Or war resumes. Sayla straightened. Accepted. Evan gripped tighter. Together. Shaw loaded clips. I'll fly escort. Station hummed alive. Trust sealed deeper. Mar's gambit escalated. Hull groaned faint. Residual stress or new threat? Evan's scan spiked. Shadow fleet. Edge of sensors. Incoming. Evan's fingers flew across the console. Red blips swarmed the scan. Shadow fleet closing fast. 12 hostiles, he barked. ECM jamming our outbound. Shaw wrenched the yoke. The escort shuttle bucked, engines roaring. Evasive pattern Delta. Sayla, target their lead ship. Sayla's claws clicked on her panel. Blue energy lanced from their prow. One blip winked out. Confirmed kill. Tar-Kel, reroute power to aft shields. The attaché nodded, scales rippling. His hands blurred over auxiliary controls. Hull shuddered under return fire. Evan exhaled slow. 4 counts in, 4 out. Stabilized the flickering navlink. Human lungs beat alien panic. Ship held course for Zorath Prime. Explosions bloomed silent in the void. Shaw spun them through debris. Rook, punch us through that gap, he did. Thrusters fired precise. They slipped the noose. Docking clamps engaging Zorath's towering spire minutes later. Armored guards met them at the hatch. Ritualist robes swirled beneath plasteel. Envoy Vey, Technician Rook. High Right awaits. No delays. Evan gripped Sayla's hand. Her scales warmed against his palm. They marched into the chamber. Crystal webs pulsed overhead. Neural lattice humming with 1,000 linked minds. Air thickened. Sense of ozone and spice clawing his throat. Evan stepped onto the central dais first. Probes snaked from the webs, latching to his temples. Sensation exploded. Fire raced his nerves. Alien signals flooded. Memories not his. Emotions raw as plasma. Sayla's culture unspooled. Bonds as communal webs. Choices dictated by elders. He clenched jaw. Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 4. Human trick from station sims. Steady breath anchored the chaos. Signal stabilized green on the central holodisplay. Ritualists hissed. Human withstands overload. Anomalous resilience. Probes deepened. Invasive query stabbed. Quantify pleasure peaks. Submit genetic logs. Public claim yields data rights. Evan tensed. Pain spiked. Sayla surged forward. All probes. This right serves verification, not dissection. Her voice cut like vibroblade. Noble blood flared in her stance. Shoulders squared, fangs bared subtle. Elder ritualist recoiled. Protocol demands. Protocol adapts. Sayla yanked a probe free from Evan. Reroute. To mutual oath. We exchange vows on dual terms. Human fidelity seals it. Murmurs rippled. Webs flickered. Tarkel stepped beside her. Silent support. Evan met her gaze. Pain ebbed. He nodded. Ritualists conferred. Webs realigned. Dual pedestals rose. Sayla mounted hers. Probes linked them both. Speak oaths, the elder intoned. Sayla first. Evan Rook, I claim you beyond Web, my choice, my shield. Claws to your skin, heart to your breath. Evan swallowed grit. Sayla Vey, I walk your web, my fix for your fire. No station, no stars divide. Gold threads materialized. Vow tokens weaving from lattice light. Hers looped her lobe, his banded his wrist. Matching gleam, webs blazed approval. High bond verified, pure, integrated. Chamber doors hissed. Consul Reismar strode in, data slate glowing. Verified or tainted? I transmit now. Evan's comm buzzed. Station feed patched through. Mars leak hit public nets. Headlines screamed. Cross-bond threatens treaty. Segregate now. Back home. Station Epsilon locked down. Bulkheads slammed between human and alien decks. Protests ignited. Species separated by force field. Shaw's voice crackled over link. Rook, report. Station's a powder keg. Your bond data's the match. High Command orders you into protective custody. Ship's brig. Now. Escort teams grounding here till cleared. Evan's gut twisted. Guards closed ranks outside the chamber. Sayela's claws tightened on his arm. No separation. They marched back to the shuttle under escort. Zorath's security peeled off at the dock. Shaw waited, arms crossed, sidearm holstered but ready. Rook, Shaw said flat. Custody. Protocol 7, Alpha. Bonds contraband till poles flip. Evan halted. Shaw, I'm no threat. Doesn't matter. Mobs tearing decks apart. You're the symbol. She thumbed the brig hatch. Sterile cell gleamed. Force field door. Bench. Recycler. Evan stepped in. Field hummed active. Sayela moved with him, slipped past Shaw's reach. Sat beside him on the bench. Custody includes my bonded. Law or not. Shaw's eyes narrowed. Vey, out. That's an order. Sayla leaned into Evan. Scales to uniform. Order ignored. Proof of love defies cages. Tarkel blocked the hatch. Attache concurs. Human loyalty. Tool, not chain. Shaw paced. Comms flooded her earpiece. Station riot worsening. Humans shielding aliens. Aliens returning favor. Treaty at 68%. Slipping. Evan checked his wrist token. Glow pulsed sync with Sayela's lobe. Shaw, this bond fixed the first attack. It'll fix this. She holstered fully. Damn it, Rook, you're always the safest fix. Paused. But Mars petitioning war resumption. Shadowfleet was his probe. More coming. Hull quivered. Distant booms echoed. Docking clamps stressing. Evan pulled personal scanner. Spikes again. Not residual. New signatures. Fleet massing Zorath orbit. Sayela's tail flicked alert. Mars gambit. Bond as weapon. He traps us here. Shaw slapped the override. Field dropped. Gear up. We punch out. Evan stood. Sayla at his side. Her claws retracted full. Trust etched in the gesture. Taharkel handed rifles. Station feed updated. Lockdown cracking. Mixed crews forcing doors open. Human techs breathing steady through gas. Alien envoys clawing barricades aside. Their proof echoed back, Love's oath, cross-wired, turning cage to launch pad. But sensors screamed. Shadow Fleet locked weapons. Torpedoes inbound. Shaw hit thrusters. Shuttle lurched free. Evan stabilized fields. Sayla targeted locks. Together, they carved sky. Mars' voice boomed over open channel. Surrender the tainted, or Zorath burns. Sayla laughed, fangs full. We burn brighter. Evan gripped her hand. Breath synced. Signal pure. Fleet closed. First salvos streaked. Torpedoes streaked past the shuttle's flank. Evan yanked the stabilizer yoke. Fields hummed overload. One missile clipped the aft shield. Sparks erupted across the viewport. Shields at 60%! Shaw barked from the pilot's seat. Her hands flew over thrusters. Sayla locked onto the next salvo. Her targeting overlay glowed on the shared console. Evan, Vector Delta 7. I thread the locks. He nodded, breath synced with hers. Wrist token pulsed warm. He punched the coordinates. Shuttle banked hard. Missiles veered into empty void. Tarkel braced in the jump seat. Rifle across his lap. Fleet signatures multiply. Mar commits full shadow wing. Evan scanned personal readout. Spikes everywhere, not just weapons. Internal alarms flickered. Coolant pressure dropping in the main habitat loop. He frowned. Shaw, divert power to forward evals. Got a tamper trace. She glanced. Now, torpedoes inbound Rook. Plumbing kill beats lasers. He unstrapped, grabbed toolkit from the bulkhead. Crawled into the underdeck access. Dim strips lit conduits. Coolant lines gleamed. Except one, fresh score mark. Laser-etched bypass valve, tamper fresh, post-departure. Evan traced the feed line. It looped to life support exchangers. Failure timeline. 5 minutes to cascade. Habitat seals rupture. Air vents poison. Planned kill. Timed for evasion chaos. He slapped sealant patch. Rerouted flow manual. Pressure stabilized. Tamper confirmed. Sabotage team hit the shuttle pre-launch, traced to Maintenance Bay 3. Sayla's voice crackled from calm. Logs active. Diplomatic override granted. Her tail tip flicked visible on the feed cam. Claws danced over her pad. Access granted. Polls show Risemars aids in Bay 3. Timestamp matches tamper. Shaw evaded another spread. Shuttle shuddered. Proof? Mars' voice still hails us. Demands surrender. Evan sealed the hatch. Klimped back. Upload to station relay. Pin them. Tarakel leaned forward. Protocol demands witness. I verify logs. Mar oversteps. Evan synced his scanner. Data streamed. Shaw, countertrap. They expect habitat fail to force docking. We fake it. She grinned fierce. Your play, tech. Gear up. Evan patched false alarms. Habitat seals breached. Vent fans whined simulated toxin. Shuttle listed artificial. Sensors broadcast distress. Open channel. Mars' voice boomed again. Tainted bond yields. Docking codes transmit. Zorath spares your husk. Sayla's laugh cut sharp. Fangs flashed on cam. Yield nothing, Consul. Tribunal under treaty law. Your aides pinned. Silence. Then static burst. Shuttle access pinged. 2 signatures detached from Shadowfleet. Pods inbound. Claiming rescue. Evan targeted locks. Pods docking ventral. Airlock cycle. Shaw armed point defense. Flush him into daylight. Pods clamped. Airlock hissed. Figures emerged. 2 of Mars aides, stun batons drawn. Clad in envoy grays, Evan swung from the ladder. Toolkit became club. First saboteur lunged. Evan sidestepped. Tripped him into bulkhead. Batten clattered. Taharkel fired trank round. Second aide dropped twitching. Shaw cuffed them. Caught red-handed. Logs, tamper marks, all match. Sayla strode forward. Claws retracted smooth trust signal for Evan. She faced the prisoners. Consul Risemar, your gambit fails. Evidence transmits to Treaty Council. Bonding defies your control. Tribunal convenes. Prisoners snarled. One spat. Noble blood taints no more. Species purity. Evan cut zip tie slack. No. Tightened it. Calm voice. Purity's a leak. We fixed it. Pods detached. Shaw punched burn. Fleet hesitated. Torpedoes held fire. Tar-Kel hauled bodies to holding. Humans treat promises as tools. Efficient. Evan wiped hands. Sayla's hand brushed his. Warm scales. You spotted the mark first. Checklist over chaos. He gripped back. Team fix. Your logs pinned it. Shaw holstered. Eyed their clasp. Wrist token glowed sync. Bonds contraband, no more. Shaw approves, but Mars petition climbs. War resumption at 68%. Sensors pinged. New signatures. Zorath Defense Fleet inbound. Ally signatures? Sayla checked pad. Council responds. Tribunal live, but Shadow probes mass again. Evan rescanned coolant. Stable. But secondary line flickered. Another tamper? No. Hull stress. Docking clamps from station echoed faint. Hull quivered. Booms distant. Shaw slapped override. No. Turster's already hot. Mar traps stragglers. Tar-Kel warned. Station lockdown cracks. Station feed hacked through. Mixed crews forced doors. Human techs vented gas calm. Alien envoys clawed barricades. Their proof rippled out. Bond signal pure. But scanner screamed. Shadow Fleet locked fresh salvo. Torpedoes inbound. Dozens. Shaw hit evals. Gear up. Punch through. Evan stood. Sayla beside. Her claws stayed in. Loyalty etched. He handed her rifle. Breath synced. Fleet closed. Salvo streaked. Evan wrenched fields. Sayla targeted. Shaw burned core. Pods trailed smoke. AIDS' confessions looped broadcast. Mars channel cracked. Impossible. Tribunal. Sayla overrode. Acceptable love defies you. We prove it. Shuttle carved sky. Defense fleet linked shields. Torpedoes splashed harmless. But Mars' lead ship swung broadside. Weapons hot. Boarding drones launched. Evan spotted pattern. Drones. Cluster ventral. Fake habitat again? Shaw nodded. Run it. He patched alarms anew. Distress flared. Drones swarmed. Sayla pulled fresh logs. Mars ship manifests. Same aides logged aboard pre-sabotage. Tar-Kel growled approval. Cultural exchange. Human checklists. Shame protocol. Drones docked. Hatches blew. Armed boarders piled in. 6 strong. Mars elite. Evan rolled behind console. Fired. Burst. 1 dropped. Sayla flanked. Claws out now. Weapon precise. Slashed throat armor. Second fell. Shaw charged. Batten cracked helm. Third out. Tar-Kel covered. Trank volley. 2 more. Last lunged at Evan. Knife gleamed. Evan parried toolkit. Checklist mined. Pressure points. Elbow strike. Knee drop. Border crumpled. Shaw cuffed last. All down. Interrogates incoming. Sayla confronted via drone cam. Mars face filled screen. Calculating eyes narrowed. Bond weaponizes you. Treaty crumbles. Evidence mounts, she said. Sabotage team's yours. Tribunal indicts. Mar sneered. Noble choice? Public property scorned. Evan stepped in frame. Calm. Her choice. Our fix. Mar cut feed. Drones powered down self-destruct. Too late. Shaw yanked cores. Defense fleet closed escort. Shuttle docked main carrier. Airlock cycled safe. Council chamber loomed via feed. Tribunal active. Sayla's noble blood demanded stage. Evan lingered corridor. Shaw clapped shoulder. Safest fix, Rook. Bond holds. Tar-Kel nodded. Promises as tools. Learns well. Sayla pulled him aside. Hand lingered. Defied culture. Fear. Trust built concrete. He squeezed. Acceptable now. But wrist token spiked. New alert. Station feed. Rise Mars shuttle undocked solo. Signature fled to Shadow Fleet. Sensors updated. Fleet reformed. Warheads armed. Not at Zorath. At carrier. Evan bolted bridge. Incoming. Mar targets us. Alarms wailed. Salvo inbound. Massive. Shaw strapped in. Checklist Rook. Full burn. Bond sink fields. Sayla gripped console. Fangs bared. We burn brighter. Torpedoes lit void. Carrier shields buckled first hit. Impact shuddered through the carrier. Evan braced against his station. fingers flying over the shield grid, reroute auxiliary power. Now. Sayla's claws dug into her armrest beside him. Her scales flushed deep violet. Mars salvo breaches outer hull in Sector 7. Shaw, barked from the command chair. Evasive pattern Delta. Rook, patch those emitters. Evan nodded, sweat beading on his brow. Human reflexes kicked in. Steady, methodical. He traced the fault line on his diagnostic pad, a single node, overloaded. He punched the manual reset. Blue energy surged back online. Shield stabilized at 60%. Torpedoes splashed harmless. The bridge crew exhaled. Nice fix, Shaw said. Her eyes flicked to Sayla. Tribunal feeds live. Your call, Vey. Sayla straightened, fangs glinting under the harsh lights. Her wrist token pulsed with the council chamber's signal. I go in person. Evan, with me. He unstrapped. No hesitation. They raced to the shuttle bay, Tar-Kel trailing like a shadow. Drones hummed ahead, clearing the path. The tribunal chamber loomed at the station's core. Airlocks hissed open. Evan stepped out first, toolkit slung over his shoulder. Sayla's hand brushed his, brief, electric. Crowds parted. Alien envoys whispered. Zorathian nobles in iridescent robes eyed her like a prize. Consul Rise Mar stood at the podium, unharmed. His shuttle's escape bought him time. Calculating eyes locked on Sayla. Envoy Vey, your indiscretion endangers the treaty. Bond to this human voids your lineage claims. Accept my house's compact. Elite pairing, stable alliance. The chamber hushed. Holoscreens broadcast every word station-wide. Sayla halted center stage, her voice cut crystal clear. I reject your offer, Consul, publicly. My bond stands with Evan Rook. Gasps rippled. Mars' mandibles clicked. Nonsense. Noble blood serves the collective. Your choice. Scorned property. Evan felt eyes drill into him. Stay calm. He squeezed her elbow. Concrete. Her scales warmed under his touch. Sayla bared fangs. No longer. I choose the one who never claimed me. Who fixed my fears with actions, not words. Tar-Kel stepped forward, datapad glowing. Precedent logged. They lineage defers to personal agency. Mar sneered. Political suicide. Shaw's voice boomed from the entrance. Add sabotage to your charges, Mar. Your borders confessed. Cores match your fleet sig. Security drones swarmed. Mar's guards stiffened. The consul straightened. This human taints you. Evan met his gaze. She chose. We fix. Sayla pulled a compact from her robe. Ancient Zorathian script, etched in crystal. Witness this. She extended it to Evan. Sign. Interspecies union. Grants me full agency. Blocks all future claims. His pulse raced. Practical man. Checklist mind. He scanned the terms. Legal shield. Shared posting rights. No takebacks. Pen in hand. He signed. Ink sealed digital and bloodbind. The chamber erupted. Cheers mixed with hisses. Sayla's eyes softened. Trust. Etched in ink. Shaw pushed through. Authorized. Rook and Vey. Joint liaison team. Station perimeter ops. Tar-Kel. Your new role. Legal shield. Protocol bends for proven bonds. Tar-Kel bowed. Promises as tools. Honored. Mar lunged for the compact. Drone zapped him back. Detain, Shaw ordered. Evan pocketed the crystal. Sayla's hand found his openly now. No hiding. They turned toward the public concourse. No escorts. His stand. Crowds thickened at the archway. Station workers. Aliens of every stripe. Krell traders, Vex engineers, human haulers. Feeds replayed the tribunal. Whispers turned to stares. A burly Krell blocked their path.
Human steals noble? Treaty bait?
Evan stepped forward, calm. We build it stronger. Sayla's tail curled around his leg. Defiant. Together, the Krell snorted steam, backed off. More pressed in. A Vex hissed. Species taboo, filth. Evan scanned exits. No fight. Talk. Check the logs. We patched your hull breaches, saved your cargoes. Murmurs shifted. Sayla spoke over them. Cultural exchange starts here. Fears defied. A human welder cheered. Rook's the fix-it king, go for it. Laughter broke tension. Claps followed. but shadows moved at the concourse edge. Mars loyalists? Unmarked figures with wrist tokens flickering red. Evan tensed. Trouble. 6 o'clock. Sayla nodded. Fangs ready. We face it. Tara Kell flanked them. Shield active. Shaw's voice crackled in Evan's earpiece. Got eyes. Hold position. The crowd parted. A lone figure emerged. Another Zorath noble. Older. Scales silvered. Envoy Vey. Your mother sends word. Lineage watches. Sayla froze. Evan felt her tremble. First time. The noble extended a token. Challenge filed. Prove the bond. Public trial of loyalty. Evan gripped her hand tighter. Concrete choice. We prove it. Crowd hushed again. Hollow screens lit up. Station-wide. Sayla lifted her chin. Accepted. The noble smiled. Sharp. Tomorrow. Arena core. No weapons. Bare truths. They stood exposed. No escorts. Trust bare as skin. Evan's mind raced. Checklist. Prep. Adapt. Protect. Her choice made him safest. But the loyalists circled closer. Knives glinted in folds. One lunged. Evan parried with his toolkit. Metal clanged. Sayla spun, claws raking the attacker's arm. Blood sprayed. Hers or his. Tarkel tackled the next. Shaw's team burst from vents. Chaos swirled. Evan shielded Sayla, elbow to a throat. Knee to gut. Assailant dropped. Shaw cuffed the last. Mars remnants. Interrogation now. The crowd cheered. Not scorn. Awe. Sayla leaned into Evan. Breath hot on his neck. Defied them all. He nodded. Acceptable love. Silver-scaled noble watched. Tomorrow tests more. Alarms pinged anew. Outer sensors. Shadowfleet ghosts inbound. Evan bolted for a console. Incoming signatures. Mars backup. Sayla bared fangs. We burn brighter. Shaw strapped in via comm. Liaison team. Bridge, now. Bond sync fields. Full burn. They ran. Hand in hand. Public eyes followed. Trust forged in fire. Trial loomed. Fleet closed.